here with some more SurvivalCraft ideas. Now, as you know, back in the last part, we were discussing about berries and all types of stuff and plants and poison ivy. But today, guys, we will be talking about the backpacks. Now, I already gave you like a sneak peek on what the backpack looks like in my last episode of SurvivalCraft. Now, with this backpack, how it will be crafted is we'll have to have 6 leather and 2 string and a chest. Now this may change. I'm really not sure about the chest. Maybe it could just be like that and then another extra leather in there, but it all depends. Now with this, there will be a new button that will let you interact with it. You can wear it, but since I don't have that right now, we're gonna pretend, since we don't have that feature on right now, since we're gonna be pretending throughout the series, let's pretend this is our backpack. This leather jerkin is our backpack. We can equip it, and then we can have a button right here in our little thing with the 3 periods, and then there will be an extra slot where it has a kind of like a chest icon or a backpack icon. I'm not sure what, but something that means storage. And then you can just click that and then store stuff in it, which is amazing if you ask me. Now, there are a lot of good things with the backpack. And so, yeah, I think he should add this in the next update, because we are really running out of like a bunch of storage in our not storage but inventory, and so we need a way in order to like access a bunch of space in order to carry the stuff, but this will come in a cost though. Now I was thinking of a new mechanic that would go great for the game. Now let's say all your inventory is full, like let's just fill up our holding inventory. Now, if your inventory is full, you will get fatigue, or you will get slower, and this will actually cause you to walk really slowly, which makes this mechanic forces you to have to carry less stuff. But unless you have the backpack, you're okay. But if you have like, the more stuff you have, the more slower you go. So when your inventory is all full, you go slow as this. So pretend we're on our back, we have a backpack on. This is how fast we would be walking right now. Yeah. And this is the normal speed. So yeah, that's one thing. So now let's go into, oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys, this was going to be a coral block. I'm not sure if it should be implemented, but I mean, it looks decorative. I mean, I'm not sure if you would be able to paint it. I mean, I guess you would. But let's move on. Now, yeah, I was gonna tell you guys about another plant, but I kind of forgot about it, and oh, hello. I'll shoot him down later, but so this is going to be a shroom, a mushroom. Now, here's the thing with the mushroom. Now, you can't cook it if he is going to, so if this was added into 2.2. So you cannot cook it, but you can eat it raw still. But you have a less chance of getting sick. I mean, you can eat mushrooms raw. It's better cooked, but here you have a small chance of getting poisoned or a big chance of feeding yourself and supplying all that nutrient. Now, the only thing good with the mushroom is just for decoration and food purposes. I don't have anything else planned for it, so it's just gonna make the world a bit more alive. Because it is a native species. I mean, he can put a mushroom in SurvivalCraft. I mean, I think what Callus is looking for is like native stuff into the world. So he wants like native items. Like that is the reason why he added African animals and like animals like these, and it kind of makes sense once you keep thinking about it. Like all of these animals have something in common, and they're all kind of native. And so yeah, I think that's what he's aiming for. So I'm thinking mushrooms and blackberry bushes would be very good for a native, you know, show. And that is another reason why he didn't add wheat and rye, and instead added rye. So yeah, that's one thing. Also, let's talk about this feller. Now, what this feller does is we never get a lot of air creatures. So what I decided is to have this cool idea for predatory air creatures, because we have predatory sea animals, we have predatory land animals, even underground animals, but never have we ever gotten a bird that actually eats other birds. And rarely Russell never even caught a bird ever in SurvivalCraft. Like, I tried a billion times. I mean, the only time a bird would be able to be killed is by a tiger if it's stuck on a tree. But other than that, that was just one experience. I saw a bird die by an animal. But other than that, I think he should add hawks. Now, the reason as to why is because, look at the bright side. It's gonna make air creatures or the sky a bit more like live. Like there's gonna be like a lot of deaths in the sky and birds are gonna fall. But the reason as to why I think a hawk should be in the game is because it's gonna make, like I said, it's gonna make the sky more alive, and it's gonna actually add some cool stuff, and also it will lay eggs as well. So you can eat the eggs. Hawks are also edible, and it should not die. But if you were to shoot down, it would die. And what it would give you is, of course, bird and feathers, but it'll give you 2 feathers, or 3, because hawks actually have more feathers than the seagulls or ravens. I think he should drop more feathers if this creature were to be added into SurvivalCraft 2.2 or any other future updates. Now let's go on to the shipwrecks. Now I was talking about the shipwrecks a couple last episode, part 1. Now remember when I was talking about the name tag? Yeah, I figured out what the real name of it was. I forgot, because I named it name tag because I didn't know what the real name was, but it's actually called a label maker. So I'm gonna have to change that. Actually, let me change that right now. Label maker. So yeah, it's called a label maker, guys. And oh, sorry guys. Oh yeah. By the way, I have a new keyboard, so label maker. They really don't have it? Maker. So yep, this is going to be called a label maker. So as I talked about in the last, in part 1, you can actually label animals, you can label items, and this would be good for adventure mode. Alright, just like in Minecraft, how you would label things in an anvil, but I don't think Callus would add an anvil, but I think he would. But for a different reason, not to rename items, but to fix items you already have that needs repairs, such as muskets, swords, and, well, not swords, but machetes, pickaxes. I mean, with an anvil, that would be great as well. I didn't make an anvil, but I think that would be a good, item to have. So, let's go on to the shipwrecks, because I forgot to show you guys last part. So as you can see, there's like a little ship. Yeah. So you can see it from here, but from here it's kind of like invisible. You can't really see it that well. Also, I want to add some more sea creatures to life. I mean, not me, but I hope Callus adds some more creatures, sea creatures, because we need a bit more sea creatures into the water. We need to add more sea creatures into the water to make it like a bit more live, including the coral. Like the coral would make it more better. Also, so we will have these guys, turtles. Now, I was thinking of turtle soup if you kill these guys, but then I decided, maybe not. That'll go into like a lot of detail, and we don't want that. So instead, if you kill it, and if you do kill it, you will instead get meat or fish. I'm not sure, whichever would be preferred. And oh my goodness, Russell. I'm sorry, buddy. It was just a... Okay, you know what. And we would have crustaceans, such as crabs. Now, if you step on these, or if you get too close to them, they will hurt you. And they will, like, let's see, how much damage would it take? I mean, it would take, like, 2 damage. Like, it would deal you 2 damage if you were to step on it or to go near it. So yeah, you'd be losing 2 life. Or 2 hearts. If you were to come close or step on one of these crabs. And the only good it serves is, I was gonna say crab or crab meat, but I doubt he'd add that in the game. Maybe fish, but that wouldn't make it, you know. So yeah, I don't think crabs would be in there, but if they were, that would be amazing. And turtles as well. I don't think they will be, but they kind of should be. Now, oh, also, by the way, they will lay eggs. So, yeah. So, now let's go deep into the waters. Now, it's gonna be a bit dark here, so sorry if you can't see anything, barely see anything. Now, let's take a look at the structure. Now, the structure, this is how it's gonna look like. Now, the sail is gonna be made out of white clay. So white clay would be here. So if you wanted, like, this would be like some like early access clay you can get if you find a shipwreck. And by the way, if you go inside here, you can actually grab coral and canvas. Canvases will be in this, coral will be in this, and then label maker will be in this. But this is like kind of rare or uncommon to find. It's fun. And now we have the other side, the other rear of the ship, and you have a chance of finding either a musket, a iron machete, a crossbow, or a bit of bombs. This is where the weapon stash is, and yeah, some coral and some canvas, yeah. And yeah, this would make it like a bit like live. And this shipwreck, yeah, this would be amazing. So, as I said, for the crossbow, well, not for the crossbow, but yeah, you will be able to find either one of these like iron related tools. So yeah, it would be amazing too. And I forgot to put this in, but you have a chance of finding a, if I can find it. I think it's in the other one. Yeah. You have a chance of finding a compass as well. Like, you have like a 50-50 chance of finding a compass. Either in this rear of the ship or in the other rear of the ship. Like the front or the back. Yeah. And so yeah, but the dangers that lie ahead of it is like sharks and other sea creatures like barracudas could get to you. So yeah, it just adds like a bit of, it makes the sea more alive as well. Like, wouldn't you like to go looting for some treasure in the waters? Try to grab some goodies, and yeah, it actually makes exploring the ocean a bit more like exciting and a bit more like, hey, I want to explore the ocean, see if I can find a label maker or a what's called, or a ship. And I was gonna add an anvil, but let's pretend that the iron block will be the anvil. So yeah, you may have a chance of finding an anvil right here on the ship. It won't be an item. It won't be located. It won't be like it won't look like an item like this. I mean, it will, but it'll be placed. So in shipwrecks, or you can find them in chests. I mean, it depends. Or even in graveyards as well. So yeah, and now let's go to the next potential feature, which is the native TP. Now this is for the Indian update, because I do believe he is going to add Indians as NPCs in the next update. That I will guarantee, I believe. Because he did say when he was making the music video, when he added title music into the game, that he was going to add NPCs such as Indians. And so I tried my best making the TP. I mean, this isn't like the full idea of it. I mean, I researched a bit, and TPs are actually made out of buffalo skin, or buffalo skin. And so that actually like I think there's a bison right now over there. So yeah, I think they would hunt bison most often. And yeah, I'm not sure how Callus, if he were to add Indians, how he would make the TP. Like, it wouldn't be wood either. I mean, I get that the fences would be there. I mean, I get the fences would be there if fences would be there in the structure of a TP, but what are you gonna do for the what's gonna be the block? Like, what's gonna be the representing the buffalo skin? Like, you gotta think about this. I mean, you can't just have like wood there. I mean, sometimes they have, well, they always sometimes will have what's called the campfires in the middle of the TP, inside the TP. So yeah, and actually when I was in here in the rainy day, like, for some reason the fire actually didn't extinguish that fast, because surprisingly this hall is like a block. Surprisingly, the fence acts like a block, so no rain came in, so that's kind of new. I never knew that. But yeah, I don't think this would be how Callus will make the TP, but it's just the design, guys. I tried my best. I can't do you know, I can't do everything, guys. Come on, you gotta cut me some slack. Also, now let's move into the rain gear. Now, I was talking about the rain gear last episode, or in part 1, and I forgot to tell you guys about this. So what I was gonna do, oh wait, actually let's go over there, because that is where we're supposed to be in order to show you how this works. And get out of here. Oh, never mind. Okay, now if I can find my umbrella, that's the thing I need. Oh yeah, and I'll get to that in a while. Alright, so I think it's time that we have umbrellas in SurvivalCraft. Like, seriously, we need umbrellas, because so far we haven't gotten any clothing that protects us from the rain. And yes, I tried my best trying to make it so that it covers me up, but I failed. This is the highest it can go. So yeah, and that if it were raining right now, we would be protected by this umbrella. And how the umbrella would be crafted is like this. We would have that over there. We would have either, I mean, to make an improvised umbrella, I mean, there would be 2 different types of umbrella if you were to like specifically like make them like during game. I mean, it should be early game as well, but at the same time it makes more sense for it to be crafted from a rod. So what my idea was leather like that, either rods or sticks like that, and that's how the umbrella would be crafted. Now this would be tier 1, of course, like like a leather umbrella, because leather is actually, I believe it's like rain resistance, like water resistant. I'm not sure, I may have to search that up. But yeah, I think this should be the recipe for the what's called umbrella, and that would be actually really cool to have an umbrella. Like, it's annoying to see that we always get wet. Come on now. And also, actually, let me leave that there, because we're gonna need that. Okay. Now let's move on to the gear, the rain gear. Now, the same, kind of like the crafting material for a cowboy hat and a and the rest of the gear of a cowboy hat, like cowboy suit, like what was it, like the cowboy okay, so cowboy hat. So for the rain gear, it would be reinforced like that, and so it would work for like the cowboy hat or the leather hat. Actually, not the leather hat, but the cowboy hat, the leather jerkin, the leather pants, and the boots. The cavalry boots will have a new mechanic to it, so that when you enter the water, you will actually, let's see, oh, I have them on. So pretend we had this mechanic right now. So if we had the boots on and we step into the water, we would get just a bit wet, but not too much. So how I entered there, it got me fully wet, but it would be like 1/3 of that. 1/3 of that. So yeah, that's how powerful the rain gear would be with reinforced leather. Now I made it yellow because I want it to represent like but yeah, it would be just reinforced leather to make it like more rain resistant. So yeah, now that we're finished with that, we can move on to the next detailing. Actually, I'm gonna keep that. Okay. Now, let's get ready to show you a new Arctic animal I've always wanted for it to come. So, these will be African penguins, and yes, I did try to resemble like pebbles, but this would be African penguins. Now, I know the vibe of Callus adding like African animals into the game, so I thought, there is such thing as an African penguin, so why not like have them like be in groups of 3 or 4 and lay eggs. And what is cool about this is like the female, so like whoever lays the egg, they stay there, and the egg would be there, and that would be really cool to see, like penguins. I mean, what you would get from them is like bird and feathers, and yeah, that's really cool. And plus, adding a new variety of animals into the game is also really good. It livens up SurvivalCraft very much. So yeah, there goes African penguins for you. Alright, now let's finish this off, and then next episode we gotta be talking about the new mechanics that I think will be added and could be added. Now, here is where it's gonna get a bit messy for me. So, let's go here. Now, say we added say that Callus added a new type of food. Now, what food I think should be available to us right now, since this already exists. I mean, all we have to do is just like add it in, and if Callus adds it, I mean, that would be amazing. So what I think would be great is to see a sandwich. Like, you can craft a sandwich out of a piece of bacon, cooked bacon, I mind you, or cooked meat. Huh. It used to, I think back then, back in the past SurvivalCraft updates, it used to be called bacon, but now it changed to meat. So now, if you put bread and meat into the crafting table, you will get a sandwich. But as you can see, I have no sandwich with that. I think that should be added in the game, which would make it like, because we need more food varieties, because we always get sick, and sometimes some foods aren't accessible and they're so far away, or we can't just access them from our climate. Like if I were living in an Arctic climate, like over there, I would only be granted access to like meat and maybe some fish. I mean, not a lot of fish, unless I was living near like the ocean right over there, and like a lot of birds. So my diet would consist more on bird, and I would get sick of bird all the time. And since growing crops there and making like food over there isn't an option, because of course the plants will die, then our only diet will have to be bird. And I think we should like increase the food option so that way SurvivalCraft doesn't like, you know, we don't die that instant, or we don't get sick that instantly. And maybe some eggs will fall, maybe. But yeah, I think we should add some more food variety. Also, a new mechanic I think should be added is smoking food. Now, you may be wondering where I got this idea. Now, this is actually something interesting I found in the internet. Now, I'm not sure if this could be true. I mean, I do believe it, because it makes a lot of sense. So, common knowledge, campfires cannot be interactive. Now, if they were to be interactive, we can smoke meat and fish. Now, with how we would smoke fish, it would turn into, once it's done smoking the fish, it would be called smoked salmon. And then once we're done smoking the meat, it would be called jerky. Yeah. So this actually, smoking the food will actually enhance or prolong its life a bit more longer, and it'll take a long time to rot. So it won't rot that quickly. So it'll take more longer than for a piece of meat that's cooked already to rot. So it would like be like 2 times that of cooked meat. So I think that should be added as a new mechanic, because that would be an amazing thing to see. Like, I mean, think about it. And is Russell in there? Okay, I thought Russell escaped. Bye. Okay, so yeah, we have already covered food, we have covered the smoking process. Now let's talk about, actually I'll leave that for part 3. I don't think that'll interest you that much. But let's get into pumpkin soup problems. Now, here's the problem. Once the soup is rotten, I really just thought you could dump it out, but it turns out you can't. You have to be forced to eat it in order to get back your pumpkin, or not your pumpkin, but your water. No, not your water, but your bucket, sorry. And then I tried this. You still can't collect water with this. So what I think Kala should add is that you shall be able to pour out pumpkin soup if it is rotten. So if it's rotten, you can pour it out, you can reuse the bucket, and that way we don't have to waste buckets or have to sacrifice our health in order to drink this stuff, in order to clear our bucket. So yeah, that's something I think should be added immediately, because this is really a problem. And as always, back in the old days before Calus repaired it, and I did not repair it, dang it. So back then we would be able to place pumpkins on hard surfaces like this, and where's a block I can use? Okay, so we would be able to do this, and it would like revive its it would revive its rotten stage. So if it was about to be rotten, you can just place it on a hard surface and it will turn back into like a fresh pumpkin. which is actually amazing.
But then Kellis figured out that was a bug, and then yeah, there goes a perfect bug that would have been great for the rest of the season.
But yeah, but I guess it was for the greater good.
So yeah, I think we should be able to pour out the pumpkin soup if it was too raw.
Because I think it's unfair that
we have to
risk our life to eat it in order to like.
Yeah.
So now let's go on to the next feature. Eggs. Now cooking eggs.
Now there are two different types of eggs that are cooked differently.
Really differently. Now, this is where I'm going to get in detail, and some of you may not understand what I say, but here we go.
So, you know how we have scrambled eggs. Now, pretend the yolk in the middle is yellow. Yeah, that's what a cracked egg would look like. Now, what I suggest for Kellis to do is
make it so that
you can be able to cook two different types of eggs.
Now, if this
furnace isn't occupied, then I would be able to use
this. And also, I made a mistake. This wouldn't be an ingot, but this would be a chunk, like a steel chunk. So, pardon me if I got that mistaken. So, yeah. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, to cook a scrambled egg, you would be able to put a egg in here and then get this shape instead from out of there. Oh, you can place stuff in there. Oh, that's amazing. I did not know that. Wait. Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's amazing. But yeah. And if you were to place, like, of course, if you were to place, like, water bucket and that, of course it would work. You would get hard-boiled eggs. So there should be two different types of eggs, but I think they should have the same, like, they should be the same, because, of course, they're eggs. I mean, it doesn't really change everything. I mean, they're still the same, it's just different properties. I mean, one fills you up better and the other doesn't. And I forgot this one's already cooked, but you get the point. One should be a scrambled egg, one should be a cooked egg. Or not a cooked egg, but boiled egg. So yeah, that's one thing I want to get out of the way. Also, I think it is time that SurvivalCraft introduces a new mechanic called Thirst. Now, what this Thirst mechanic will do is we have to drink every single time. Yes, we have to drink water. And this will actually get very, very, very complicated. So, imagine we got water from the sea right there. We scoop it up, and if the drinking mechanic were to work, like the thirst mechanic, if we drank this, we would be very sick, because seawater has salts. Now I'm going to be using saltpeter for this example. Now, here's the problem. So if you drink this, and it came from the ocean, you have a high chance of getting sick. But if you were to scoop this up from, let's say, a freshwater bay, which I think there's one right over here, or from the river, you'd be safe if it says freshwater. If it said salt water, then you'd have to cook it in a furnace, and you will be able to receive salt. Now what this salt will do is this salt will be used in order to place it on raw meat, raw fish, and raw bird. Now reason as to why is the salt, I think if I remember correctly, now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think salt, if you place it on raw food, it's supposed to like endure its life a bit longer. I'm not sure, I think that's a myth, but do comment down below and tell me if I'm wrong or not. So yeah, that's something I want that interested me. So other than that, let's get into the next. Oh, Mushroom. Let's get into the last mechanic I want to talk about before you guys leave. Now, well, not last mechanic, I mean, we're still in the same one. So how this water will work is we'd be able to scoop it up. This would be fresh water, and we would be able to drink it. But since we are not able to access copper really quickly in day one, I mean, you could, but sometimes that's not how it works. I suggest we add, come on, you really have to do this to me? This is gonna be a longer video as well. So yeah, what I suggest Callus should do, if this hydration system were to be implemented into the game, is to make cups out of glass, cups out of clay. I mean, there will be more use of clay, and then cups made out of wood. Now each cup will actually have a more better capability of storing or collecting more water. So glass would be actually glass would be in the middle, and wood would be in like first, so it would carry like a bit of water, not a lot but a bit, and then this would carry a bit more water than a wooden cup, and then the clay cup, or the jug, I guess you can name it, since it's pottery and we're talking about pottery if we were talking about clay, would be called a jug, and it would carry more than a glass cup. Now, yeah, this is what I was really thinking about, and I really want this system to work, because if this was implemented, I mean, it would make the game a bit more harder, but also it would make it a bit more realistic, because come on now, you gotta drink, because we've been surviving so long without drinking water. I think it's time that we have a new thirst system, in which if you eat something like meat or like smoked salmon a lot, it'll decrease your hydration system, and then, well, not your hydration system, that doesn't sound right, but it'll make you more like, the more you eat meat, the less hydrated you feel, or the more dehydrated you feel, because I mean, it makes sense as well. And so I think this thirst system should be added as well. Okay, now before we leave, I just want to talk about one last mechanic that I believe would be good for the new SurvivalCraft 2.2 update or future updates. Now, let's say you got really like dirty, you hadn't been bathing for days, or you hadn't touched water for days. Well, here's where you're gonna have to need to. So I think we should add a new hygiene mechanic. Now, the hygiene mechanic is if you explore a lot, and if you're mining coal or mining like a bunch of ores, and you're in the cave like a bunch, and you don't like take a bath or like bathe yourself in water at least, then you're gonna start getting sick as well. And then in order to get that hygiene up again, you need to wash yourself in water or bathe yourself in water. And then once your hygiene bar is full, or not full, but it depends. I'm not sure how it would be viewed as, I mean, bad or good, if the bar is full or empty, I mean, or low. But yeah, that's how the hygiene mechanic would work, which is kind of amazing. I mean, some of these ideas may be implemented, I'm not sure. I mean, some are kind of crazy as well, but you gotta admit, come on, let's add some predatory air birds, let's add some like label makers, let's add like a shipwreck at least, let's add like the thirst mechanic. Let's even add cannibals to make the world a bit more like, you know, to make exploring a bit more like you know, worth it. And coral as well. I mean, coral should be added. I'm not sure about you, but coral should be added. And if I were the hawk, I would be able to, you know. But you know how the hawk works. You know how the hawk works. So yeah. Yeah, anyway guys, these are just ideas. They're not really gonna be implemented unless Callus watches it and then says, okay, I agree with you, let's add this. But the chances of that being true is like 20%. Not high. But yeah, backpacks, label makers, coral, tools, coral, cannibals, Indians. I know Indians will be added. He wouldn't scrap that idea. Also, hawks and yeah, all that good stuff. I mean, the rest could be implemented. I mean, it doesn't have to, but it should. I mean, it would liven up the world. I mean, mushroom idea, I don't think that's good, but I think the blackberry bush idea would be good. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna sign out, or not sign out, but I'm gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna end the video here. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video today, please like this video if you want to. I'm not forcing you. And if you want to see some more content like this, please subscribe and click that notification bell. Now, also do check out my friend DK Originals as well, because he's gonna need a bunch of support. Also, if you want to see, do see his channel, please, because it's like funny, it's hilarious. I mean, he has like the best humor into his videos, and his content is pretty good. So anyway, guys, sorry if I was a bit boring today. I know I hadn't been getting a bunch of energy, but tomorrow's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a Monday, but usually Mondays are bad, very bad. But anyway, guys, I'll be seeing you next time. So bye.